engineering test from Chris and Ange.
So my beautiful assistant, you are now a criminal. So we're just about ready to pull the trigger on our air conditioning system.
Oh! Should we start a business?
No.
I can still fit really nicely.
Hello. Coffee time.
Let's copy in the mug. So what is the plan for this morning?
So there's all these little gaps around the edges, which just terrible gaps, the big gaps too. So we're gonna fill it all. We'll seal it. Every single crack on this floor. We're gonna fill it up. Stop any draft, moisture, dirt and crud getting down in it, and just clean the finish up.
Sounds good. All right. Let's do it.
And then decide which area to start building first.
All right, new rule. No shoes allowed in the mug. Socks only. It's time to give the mug a good clean. Sealing off every single edges of the mug. Done.
All right, back at the Mog. So yesterday we didn't come out here. It was actually raining most of the day. We stayed at home because we had a very important order to make. We have ordered a bunch of materials from Victoria, which is going to be arriving next week. And that is to do with what I'm going to build the inside of the vehicle out with. So let me know in the comments if you can have a guess what it is. It may be really obvious or it might not be at all. So
clue number one.
And now today I want to have a little look at the spare tire, right? Because you guys saw me literally break my back doing those for Ange. But you would have noticed we've still got the original spare on, which is no good.
No.
The reason I've got the original spare on is because it's going to take some modification to fit this big tire in here. Now at the moment it is on like a little bracket kind of under here. It's like a little skid, and that attaches to the chassis rail in a really good strong position. I'm not going to do what heaps of other people do and slap this tire either on the roof or on the very back of the Mog. Never wanted to do that from the second we bought the Mog. I've done enough forward driving in my life to know about keeping weight as low as you can at all costs. I mean, that's when this is a very heavy, big truck that weighs a lot. So you really would have to load an area, but I'd say 2 of those, that's an extra 200 to 300 kilograms. It's probably about 150 kilos that. So yeah, we're looking at 300 kilograms if you had 2 tires slapped on the back of your Mog. It's too much, or one on your roof. That's like a drum skin, the roof of these Mogs, so I don't want to be putting a ton of weight through there, even if it is on some sort of a roof rack. So this is where Mercedes put the spare tire, and I want to try and keep it there. And I know with some modifications I can get it. We're not going to run 2 spare tires. We will be running 1. So I need to work out how to keep that there. What I'm thinking is, because it's going to be a very tight squeeze, especially with that bar that we got welded in, which in retrospect I'm kind of kicking myself about, because it does actually hang lower and therefore there's even less room for that spare tire there. I could potentially notch it out, but I'll try and avoid that if I can, because you have to put a huge amount of weight on this thing. It does not move. At the moment we've got some of the weight of the tire supported by it. It'll move when there's a ton of weight and inertia pushing it to one side, but it doesn't with 150 kilograms of tire. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, and giving that a crack there, maybe with a ratchet strap, a couple of bolts, and this little winch bracket. Have it suspended a little bit more from this and have it be able to articulate back and forward off-road.
What if we both hang from that thing?
It's not going to budge.
All right, let's give
It
it.
requires some more weight than that.
Well, together, combined, we are roughly there.
We are. I'll sit.
Ah.
Why are you not hanging?
Okay. I'm hanging.
Does it move? Does it move? It doesn't move.
Test done. Engineering test from Chris and Ange. Chris is very lucky in his earmuffs, he can actually put music on. I've got like the cheapest one where you can't have music, so Chris had like invested a little bit and he actually works much better. He can listen to music, can listen to these audiobooks on Audible, he can listen to podcasts, like he's in a much better mood when he can listen to something. He's not like me where I function much better, not in silence, but more like a peaceful environment. I can really focus. Anyway, it's not doing too much noise at the moment, so I can finally talk to you and tell you all about what I'm up to in the box. So I've got two main jobs. The first one was to tape around the garage area over there. You can see there's lots of numbers and everything. We've decided that the garage is gonna be the first area of the build, of the box that we're gonna build. The main reason behind it is like if we want to go away or if we want a little trip, camping. So at least like that we'll be able to store all the camping that we need without it being like flying around the box. Because we're just like thinking, right now, if we put some box, even if we've got like a ratchet and stuff, that would just go like and spill everywhere. So that's the main reason we're doing the garage. And speaking of the garage, we've got some new changes to the garage. All right, let me take you on a little tour of our garage area. Oh my God, really? All right, take two. Oh my God. Oi. All right, I've decided to close the door, close the hatch. It might be a bit echoey now, but at least should be better for the noise for Chris. So, I was trying to say I wanted to show you the difference with our garage layout. If you haven't watched our previous video, I suggest you do. I'll put a little card just right here. But we realized initially the bunk bed that we have designed in order to future-proof having a family on the road was taking the entire width of the mug, which is 2.4 meters for the box. It's way too long for a bunk bed. We just realized no child would ever need such a long bed. So why are we not shrinking that bed space and have some storage for us? Because storage, I think, is one of the most underrated part, and you don't know until you leave and you move in full time, I guess, in your vehicle, that you realize that you don't have enough or you have too much. So what we have decided to do is actually to cut slightly the garage. Over here you can see, so initially it was supposed to go all the way, but instead we're gonna have the garage going inside. We still have kept an area which goes the entire length of the garage. We're thinking spare gun, barbell, any kind of like long object will be able to be stored there. I think it's quite important to have that, but it doesn't need to be very wide. So, on that side here, we've decided now we're gonna have the storage for our clothing. So at least it's easily accessible, it's quite a big storage as well, but we can store as well any kind of camping gear as well that is not dirty, anything like that will go in that storage area. Our garage will be roughly just above the hatch kind of height. We're thinking it should be enough. We have like this Bunnings box that we put inside. It fits perfectly. We don't think we need anything higher than that, because we don't have anything to store that big and bulky. We try to think, I think that's the most important thing, is to brainstorm what are you going to need to store. So first we had to look at what we've got possession-wise from the Jeep. We sold a lot of things, and what we've got currently, we don't have that much to store at this stage. I'm sure we'll have a lot of things in terms of recovery gear and tools and spare parts and things like that. But the great thing with the Mog, we're still gonna have a box above the cab. We've got as well more room under the tray. So in terms of storage for that kind of thing, I think we are really good. Anything heavy, we want to keep it as low to the ground as possible. And then, so on this area, this is where the bunk bed would be. At first, I guess, when the child is a baby or quite young, would fit nicely in that area. And then when the child grows, we're thinking having here a little platform on a hinge that can kind of like connect with the other side, and the mattress can just extend. So roughly we've got here, I think that was 1.7 meters. So it's even longer than this. So if I lie down here, I can still fit really nicely. How you doing?
Well, I got a sweat up and I crushed my finger, but I've almost got the wheel out. It's about how hard this bloody thing is. I always get stuck on some new part of the process. I can never streamline it. I need just a line of Unimog to all the tyres, and then I'm like...
Should we start a business?
No.
All right.
Nearly there.
Alright, it looks like Chris has things under control, so I can go to my job number 2. Job number 2 is on the other side of the garage in the couch area. The main thing I'm working on right now is the water tanks. I think it's really important when you do a build to think obviously present what you're doing at the moment in terms of jobs, but you need as well to order for the future. So right now we've got the materials for the construction coming up, but I want to get the tanks ordered because it takes around like 4 to 5 weeks at the moment to get delivered. So you really need to get that sorted. So what I'm doing with the water tanks, I'm looking under a catch area. So that will be our tank number 1 and our tank number 2. We want to be able to be as off-grid as possible. We want to carry as much water as we can as well, but that's within reason. Obviously, water will have a huge weight here, but we are like right now where I'm like standing, we are roughly towards the tire and near the axle. It's not really completely hanging. You want as well to keep your water and the weight as low to the ground as possible. So I'm currently on Atlas Tank, and they've got a really useful feature which is called the capacity calculator, where you just put the length, the width and the height of like your tank, if it's rectangular, which it is for us, and then you get as well approximate liters. So the maximum capacity that we can currently carry in these 2 areas will be 464 liters, which is a lot of fresh water. So I need to work out exactly if we want to go to maximum capacity or maybe a little bit less to reduce the weight, and as well because we don't need that much. I know that it's quite hard for me to evaluate, especially how much water for showers. I looked online a little bit what is roughly like a Caravan kind of RV shower estimate, like on average. It's around like 24 liters per person, unless you do the military approach, which is kind of like you soak water on and off, where you save obviously a lot of waters, which is around 12 liters. So with Chris, we try to think maybe somewhere in the middle. We've lived on the road before, we're used to quite like short showers and being quite limited in that respect. So I'm not too worried for that.
All right, so someone in the comment section said, why are you worried about your door and your hatches and the security of the hinges when someone with a hatchet or a hammer can just smash right through your box? Firstly, someone with a hatchet or a hammer could break into probably any home, no, 99% of homes, right? So it's an unfair test, but I'm interested to find out as well. So we've got some of our 40mm panel here, like an offcut. We've got a big old axe. This thing we've chopped a few bits of firewood on. It's pretty hefty. Normal size kind of hammer you'd get in a toolbox. and then your larger mallet type, it's got some weight to it. So again, bear in mind, someone with a hatchet or a hammer this size is going to get into your home if they really want to. So it's an unfair test, but we'll see how the panel does. All right, so my beautiful assistant, you are now a criminal and you are forcibly entering or trying to enter the premises. So you've got a little hammer out of your tool bag, got a hockey mask on. Now have at it.
Bear in mind, I've never done that before, no idea.
That was a pretty hefty swing. All right, so check it back out, give it another one.
Maybe I'll hold on.
All right, so what did it do?
If you did a dent.
So it's dented it a little bit. Other than that, it hasn't broken through at all.
And
So that's pretty good. What do you think, Ange?
Yeah. Well,
I think that's past the hammer attack from an angry female. What do you think?
Yeah.
Right, so how about I try that now?
Let's give it a try. All right, your turn.
All right, hammer man.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
it breaks the hammer.
Always buy a good quality hammer. So what happens? I put a bit of a dent in it, but I'm not through. Interesting. It's actually surviving pretty well. Okay. Yeah, I think that's past the hammer test. That would take a lot of beating to make a hole big enough. All right, Ange with the bigger hammer. Give it a wallop.
Jeez, heavy.
And again. Yeah, passed even better. So the larger the blunt object is, yeah, the better it fares. All right, hammer time. Very similar, kind of broken the first bit, but not more than that. All right, now the hatchet test. Ange doesn't really want to try this. So
I'm probably gonna hurt myself.
all right, we ready to go?
Ooh. Still not through.
Here's Johnny. Nah. Looks like it's starting to try and come through. Let's give it a couple more hits. And now it's starting to come through. So there you have it, folks. It's actually really, really good. This would smash through a wooden door. I reckon that passes. That is how safe our box is.
All right, so it seems like last time you quite liked the little question and answer that we did at the end of the video. So we thought we'll do again because we had quite a few questions about the hatches and the door. So let's start with the first one. Why did we use screws and not rivet for the hinges?
Only reason is because I just, after the big debacle with the piano hinge on the inside not working, took ages to remove all the rivets out. So I decided that in case this didn't work, I didn't want to make it semi-permanent like that. So I probably will go around all the screws, pull them out and put rivets in instead. It was just in case this was temporary, it was going to make way more work for me. But yeah, rivets definitely a lot stronger.
All right, second question. Why did we put the handle kind of like in the middle of the door and not at the bottom?
Firstly, because security reasons. Stops people with sticky fingers trying to open the door easily, I guess. It looks like a deterrent. I'm hoping someone comes up to it and goes, yeah, I'm not even going to try because I can't even see if there's someone inside. The other reason the handle on the inside is going to be that same level in the middle of the door. If it was down low, it just means a kid from the inside can open it.
Even for us, that would be awkward to open it from the bottom.
Exactly. Yeah, you could probably somehow do a system where there's a handle on the outside here and a handle on the inside up there. I don't know how I could have done that.
More
just with my
complication.
skill. So yeah, so that's why we decided to do it there. And the other bonus being you can open the window and we can unlock it. If someone ever came along, got a ladder and sneakily decided to just shut the handle on us, you know, which is really unlikely. So that's why we put it there.
The third one is not really a question, it's all the suggestions that you gave us to secure the hatch. We had some great answers.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for all those, because I didn't know you could do some of these on the inside. I hadn't actually thought of it, so thank you very much for that. Had a few really good examples. One was wire rope or some sort of wire strap on the inside, maybe here and here on the inside, that stops the hatch actually being able to be removed. Maybe even a rod similar to the front door, or even like a lip that comes up on the inside and stops that. I'll do one of those. I'm wondering, I think doing the wire rope will be the easiest for me to do off the top of my head, but I just wonder if someone could then just cut it if they've already undone that. So yeah, I'll get on the inside, have a little think about what to do with that, but that's awesome. I'm actually really stoked that I can make this more secure than I was worried about, so thank you.
All right, so next question, how do we open the door from the inside, and can we lock the door from inside without going through the window?
So first question, easy. We've got a handle on the way that will fit into this square peg. That'll be like a stainless steel handle. When you turn it back and forward, it'll just turn the whole thing as one unit. That'll shut the door on the inside really nicely. But correct, we won't be able to lock it. So if someone came up, they could potentially do the same thing, the handle from the outside. So we will be just putting a standard slide bolt, either that comes from the side up at the top or the bottom, probably the top, or one that goes up, and that'll fix that completely. So when we're inside, we can just lock it up at night time if we choose to. Yeah.
And the last question, what stops anyone from reaching in through that window to open the door from the inside?
Firstly, like I said earlier, it's impossible to get to unless you came along with a ladder. The window would have to be open, and we have a security latch on the inside, so we can open it just a tiny little gap and have that locked so you couldn't enter through it. Or if we have the window wide open, that means we're already inside, and then I'm not too phased about that. Do you know what I mean? So
well,
yeah, so that's why. So that's what we've been looking like the last few days. It's been really, really, really wet and rainy. So there's very little we can do on the outside of the truck at the moment. As you know, we're still waiting on our first order of materials for inside the box. So we're really excited about that. Today, because there should be a little bit of sunshine, I'm going to mount the spare tyre. So we'll show you that in the following video. We've been doing a hell of a lot of research and making the most of the time on our appliances. There's quite a lot of options on the market that we can go with, and we're still trying to kind of future-proof ourselves and make sure we make the right decision. So we're just about ready to pull the trigger on our air conditioning system for in the box and on our hot water supply system. So that's really, really exciting, but a bit kind of stressful, because no matter how much research we seem to be doing on YouTube and Google and whatnot and blogs, we seem to keep finding new information that'll make us like second guess ourselves and stuff like that. So that's all we've been really doing. Yeah, so I'll mount the tyre and get cracking into it.
And I wanted as well just to end this video, as Chris is just like playing around with the tyre over there, just to let you know that next week it's 100th video of the outfit, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. We're just so proud of how far we've come, and we've had a great opportunity to partner with Squarespace. So I wanted to be transparent with you so that it doesn't come out of the blue next week and you don't really understand the reasoning behind it. Obviously for us that was quite a tricky decision, because we've never done any paid promotion before on the channel. We've been quite against it, especially with all the paid product review companies that have reached out to us and tried to get us to do it. We never wanted to use a product that we will actually never use ourselves. I've personally wanted to build a website for quite a long time. I'm currently using a platform called Payhip, which is really basic. It's just a selling platform, and to be honest, I don't really like the look of it. It was just convenient for now, but I'm ready to go to the next step, build a professional website, learn new skills. I really want to develop that social media and content creation. So I think for me, it's a logical step for the outfit business. Just to give a little bit more context, so these 4 videos that we'll do for Squarespace as a sponsorship, it's more than 1 month worth of revenue of YouTube for us. So it's basically doubling our income, which is pretty crazy. So not only we'll be able to pay for a hot water system or air conditioning, but as well we'll be able to save money to hopefully go to New Zealand to visit Chris' family, if the travel bubble stays open, fingers crossed. So yeah, we hope you understand the reasoning behind it. We know it can be a bit cringy and a bit annoying. If that really bothers you, you can just fast forward the ad. You don't have to sit through it like the YouTube ads. We still get paid regardless. This is not gonna change at all our channel, what it is about, and as well our content. It's just helping us a little bit more to get where we want to go, reach our goals, and hopefully spend some quality time with family and have a well-deserved break. In the meantime, I hope we'll see you next week, and thank you for the support.